I bet I'll be A1 from day one.
Anthony Edwards. He's so much better than you think. The legend killer. Ant's taken down LeBron, KD, Jokic, Luka, Jimmy, and kinda Curry. Edwards is the Timberwolves savior and improving every game. Once just an explosive, fun finisher that lacks so many parts of his game, is now one of the best shooters in the game. A mature player on the court and comedian off of it that is still one of the best dunkers the game has. Maybe what is so scary is that he still has so many steps to go. But Ant is an entertainer, but even better, one of the best players in the league that has now taken Minnesota to back-to-back conference finals. Ant-Man is quickly rising on the list of Wolves greats and has taken his game to new heights this year, turning into someone that could compete for an MVP trophy and lead the Timberwolves to heights they've never seen before.
Believe that.
Anthony Edwards is unstoppable. Everything that a team can throw at Ant doesn't work. He's not a fully complete player, but his strengths are just so strong and he excels in so many deadly areas that teams can stop him and the Wolves in any way. What's helped unlock Ant's game so much even more is his pull-up shooting. Now I think Ant's superpower is how quick he's able to learn things and start to excel at it, consistently getting new areas of his game, and over the offseason it was the pull-up shot. Now I'll talk more about that later. While always shooting the pull-up three at a high volume throughout his career, Ant had never been efficient, never shooting even 34% in that shot over a season, despite taking over 1,300 of them. This season, everything changed. Ant has taken and made a league-leading 230 of 597 pull-up threes at an elite 38.5% rate, 1.16 points per possession, and made the most pull-up threes since Rockets' James Harden. Ant added another signature move to his bag and can score in so many ways. While he can just run up and shoot in your face, he also has an elite step back, and the threat of driving lets him get easier shots, and he led the league with 320 made threes on nearly 40% shooting, and this comes as a shock. Coming into the season, people were very concerned about the spacing because of the Cat for Randall trade. So what does Ant do? Become the best shooter in the league. Ant is insane. Despite that, he's still a very scary driver and someone that nobody wants to meet at the rim. We all know of his explosive dunks, gliding through the air gracefully before shattering the rim, but that isn't just for fun. People are actually scared of him. Ant has scored the 6th most points off drives, and how he creates gives me some comparisons to another all-time great, James Harden, and that is of course because of the elite first step. Ant has the best first step in the game right now and has the strength and speed to get past literally anybody. While there are some flaws in his driving game, like the occasional tunnel vision just diving at the rim and his lackluster efficiency, as a whole, he's one of the scariest drivers. Almost all of it is his own on-ball self-creation, and the spacing around the rim isn't great, making it much tougher for him. He can slice through defenders and has a great handle to enable him driving through the heart of the defense. His speed is genuinely too fast for defenders to contain, and he's very strong, allowing him to fight and even excel through contact. He can change speeds and is a nightmare for teams to contain, especially considering volume creates a legitimate problems for teams trying to defend the three-point shot. But Ant is really a 3-level scorer. Though he isn't some dominating force in the mid-range, his shot is passable, though something I would like to see him improve is his fadeaway and floater in the mid-range. While he shoots both with some level of volume, his in-between game would be so much better if he's able to convert on those shots at a way higher efficiency, and it may even open up other areas of his game. But another way that he excels is in the pick and roll. Ant's decision making has got much better, something we will talk more about later, but that and the combination of an elite pull-up three has made him nearly unstoppable in the pick and roll. He was 4th in total points as the PNR ball handler and had a PPP of over 1. For such a high volume half-court play, it was pretty efficient and a go-to because he will just shoot in your face, and he's just so unstoppable in isolation, and with even more distractions, it's really unstoppable. You can go under the screen and he'll shoot in your face. You go over the screen and he gets better looks at driving to the rim. How can you stop someone so elite in so many areas? Well, we will talk more about some of the coverages used against him later, but let's harp on where he has improved so much throughout the course of the season, his maturity and playmaking. Ant has had a problem throughout his career, not being a great playmaker. He's always been feared as a scorer, mostly off his driving, but a very flawed playmaker and decision maker. It hurt the Wolves a lot last season, especially down the stretch in the conference finals against Dallas, where the Mavs, with Luka and Kyrie, consistently executed down the stretch much better than Minnesota, losing 3 of the first 4 games in the fourth. Ant continually had tunnel vision and would take bad and unneeded shots. Even through the start of the season, it was really bad. He wasn't a great playmaker, and what hurt so much was the doubles. Ant really struggled with blitzes, and he would get taken out of possessions and even the game. And despite being the most blitz player in the league, he would openly speak out about it, leading to a bunch of backlash. Well, since then, Ant has been on fire. Before the video of him complaining, he had just 132 assists to 100 turnovers in 33 games, but since starting to work on it even more, he's had 227 assists to 149 turnovers, a much better ratio. Ant said that he studied Luka film, one of the most blitz players over the last few years, and even asked Michael Jordan for help on how to deal with this, and clearly it's worked. Ant is just a much better decision maker now. He's happy to make the right pass and empower his teammates to improve, becoming a very good soft playmaker in an insanely quick amount of time. This is absurd. 5 months ago, he was a rough and immature playmaker, and now he's a big plus. Ant played Luka again in the playoffs, and there were questions on if he could execute late in the game, especially if doubled. I even picked the Lakers to win, despite them being a heavily flawed team, because I thought their late game execution with Luka and Bron would put them over the top. Well, the Wolves instead closed perfectly every time, and Ant was a big part of that. Now, he may never be a Luka or Jokic or Hallie level passer, but he is genuinely improved. He can commonly make the skip pass to the wing or corner, even through defenses, and will commonly make the right basic reads, which is needed from someone with the ball that much. He is continuing to get much better at slowing down and reading the defense, and can make some actual advanced passes. While he will always generate a lot of turnovers, his playmaking has significantly improved, and his low assist numbers aren't fully his fault. A lot of what is holding Ant back even more is his surrounding offensive personnel. While Rudy is one of the handful of best defensive players in the league, completely elevated and transformed Minnesota, and they would not be in the conference finals last year's without him. You won't hear me speak bad much about Rudy. He is still horrible as a scoring threat. He has maybe the worst hands in the league and is incapable of consistently catching the ball even when spoon-fed shots near the rim, and that really hurts Ant, as what could be a really good PNR duo doesn't work. Also, having a big negative offensive player on the court at almost every needed moment hurts the spacing and ability for Ant to actually create. The Wolves also lack other great guard ball handlers. Mike Conley is a shell of his former self and was nearly played off the floor in the Lakers series, not being able to exploit defenses like he once could, and Dante isn't some special ball handler or playmaker. The Wolves have also not put any great creators next to him throughout his career, the best being Randall and Cat, and while they are still very good players, Ant has not had much to help him become a transcendent talent offensively, but he still made it work. And while a lot of the time, this isn't actually everything, Ant's intangibles are amazing. He does not miss games. Every season of his career, he has played at least 72 games and played 79 in each of the last 3 years. He's played 418 of the 437 available games to play in. He rarely gets tired and is really a one-of-one athlete. His athleticism is through the roof, and we've talked about his first step, but being that athletically gifted while being one of the biggest Ironmen is an insane feat. Ant's ability to learn and grow extremely fast is also insane. Coming into his career, he was known as a negative defender. Well, that's much different now. Coming into the season, he wasn't a scary deep-range shooter. Again, that is much different now. Earlier this year, he couldn't handle doubles or blitzes well and was a more immature player. That is also different now. He has a great ability to learn new things and add them to his game effectively very quickly. And lastly, Ant just has the it factor. He may not always be the most efficient or have the best shot selection, but Ant continually rises to the occasion and will let you know. He has taken down so many legends and seems like one of the most feared players. But let's talk more about Ant's defense. Ant is one of the best on-ball defenders in recent memory among players with this big of an offensive workload. He's very fast and strong enough to compete with almost any non-giant guard or wing, and he's able to force players off their spots as he thrives off physicality. Ant has attributed this to growing up and playing football, and it makes sense. Players do not get past him. He also has the quick speed to stay with anyone, and is one of a few Wolves defenders that are elite POA defenders, like McDaniels and NAW. He doesn't have to or usually do the task of guarding the best guy every night, but he has the capabilities to, and has taken some premium defensive tasks before. Now, his off-ball defense isn't great, and he gets caught off guard every now and then, but overall, he's an insane defender, and most known on that side for his electric chase down blocks. He has even got votes for all defense in the last 2 seasons, and has got the reputation of being elite on that side of the ball. But let's talk about his playoff performance so far, especially in the first round win against the Lakers. They had absolutely no way of stopping him. LA tried going into an ultra help defense. They would step into both sides to protect any drive since they didn't have a big. Jackson Hayes barely played in the series, and when he did, he was horrible. But he could punish them by getting inside anyway, shooting over top, or just relegating to his teammates who could take advantage, which he did. Julius Randle had a monster series. He also threw many skip passes to open shooters in the corner, who the Lakers had to let shoot. Minnesota has run through their side of the bracket with 5-game series in both rounds, despite not playing too great in the second round against Golden State. And alongside the Indiana Pacers, they both have the best record in the playoffs so far, with only 2 losses. And it may not be over for them. While I have OKC winning the title, they're my preseason pick and my pick heading into the postseason, Minnesota has an actual chance. Ant has shown he can do anything, and the Thunder have looked surprisingly vulnerable throughout the first 2 rounds. The Wolves are also one of few teams who have a defense even slightly comparable and a superstar that isn't too far from Shea. Ant and the Wolves also have the experience. They were in the same spot last year and got smacked by the Mavs, but they are now the more rested team. And if they can shock OKC, then they will move to a very winnable finals against the Knicks or Pacers. And if Ant, Randle, and Gobert win the Wolves' first title, then there will need to be some very uncomfortable conversations about their legacies and where they currently rank in the league. But let's talk about the future for Ant. At just 23 years old, Ant already has 3 All-Stars, will make his second All-NBA team this year, and has made his second conference finals. He's already one of the best two-way players, despite being a 6'4" guard, and is arguably a top 5 player, and at least top 7 to 8. What is even more scary is just how much he can improve on. With how quick of a learner he is, I truly expect him to get a very, very good mid-range game within the next couple years. I also believe he'll keep improving heavily as a playmaker, and though he may never be elite in that area, better offensive personnel around him should help a lot. Ant is just 23 years old and is taking the NBA world by storm. Watch out, because he's already better than you think, and his ceiling could turn the Wolves legend into an all-time great.